with Honorable John Jinapo.
Mr. Speaker.
Not more than 5 minutes, please.
Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, let me thank you for this opportunity. Mr. Speaker, let me start with a Ghana Web report. And it is dated, Mr. Speaker, 2017, Friday, 28th July 2017. AK-47 wielding corps raid John Jinapo's home. Mr. Speaker, 5 police officers believed to be from the National Security on Friday raided the home of former Deputy Power Minister, Mr. John Jinapo, in search of documents related to the controversial $550 Ameri deal. Mr. Speaker, this very house, this very house, approved the Ameri deal. Mr. Speaker,
What is it?
Speaker, I thank you. Earlier on, I had tried to. I think it's important we set the parameters right. Let it go into the records that nobody's afraid of this subject matter. And the leader says that he's cautioning. Nobody's afraid. Nobody has anything to hide. Now, the point I want to make is that, Speaker, yes, when we are debating, we make reference to other sources of information. Let it be put on record that any matter that anybody wants to reference, it should be tabled. It should be tabled. Speaker, if our colleague has some source of information, let that information be tabled before he can proceed on same subject matter. You can just get up and say that Ghana Web. Table it. Let him table it. No, he should table it. Anybody gets up and say Ghana Web, he should table it. Speaker, I insist. Let him table it. Then he can take his source serious.
Honorable John Jinapo.
Mr. Speaker,
you've already spent 1 minute.
Mr. Speaker, that's most unfair. That's most unfair. I mean, you can't do this to me, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, you are a leader. And you should know that when something is public record, especially in this house, we do not tender any evidence. Professor Mike Okwe, then Speaker, made a ruling on the matter in this chamber. You were seated here. Professor Mike Okwe wrote to the CID in respect of this matter. And so what other evidence do you want me to tender when it's captured in the Hansard? Anything captured in the Hansard, you don't tender any evidence. Mr. Speaker, I am saying that on that fateful day, Mr. Speaker, on that fateful day, when my house was raided by AK-47 wielding national security operatives, when they banged on my door, creating fear and panic, sending my 6-year-old child into a state of hysteria, into a state of fear. We had members here. They never commented on it. And I commend Professor Michael Kwe on that day when he stood up and ruled that what they were doing was wrong. Mr. Speaker, they took my phone, they took my laptops, and took it to the United Kingdom to investigate me. Today, a very simple matter. You are scared of it. Mr. Speaker, let me explain something. The OSP has declared Mr. Ken Ofori Atta as a fugitive. As a fugitive. Mr. Speaker, in our local language, fugitive, in our local language, it means that wadenuwa kangura. Or, to put it simply, wajibam. Or in the Hausa language, otilo. Or to put it in a more simpler way, ya gudu. It's as simple as that, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we should not be afraid of accountability. As public officials, when they took my laptop, it got to a point they couldn't even open the iPhone. I told them I was willing to come and use my fingerprint. It was then and then that they told me that the phones had been taken to the United Kingdom. I had to give them the password. Eventually, the very America that I was accused of, a minister was dismissed because it came here padded by almost $800 million. Mr. Speaker, on this auspicious day, on this day of reckoning, on this day of accountability, the only thing I can say is that we wish the man in white,
5 minutes.
the best of luck.
Is up.
But Mr. Speaker,
5 minutes is up.
The finance minister should come here and settle the scores as well as
5 minutes is up.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much, Right Honorable Speaker.